So did Shaq have a red pill moment? Did he come to his senses? We'll talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Shaq saying that there should be no vax mandate. Now, yes, that's Shaq from the LA Lakers and a bunch of other teams, Orlando Magic, Hall of Fame NBA player. He has apparently had a change of heart because remember, a few weeks ago, he was attacking Kyrie Irving, who has famously not been vaxxed yet, for not getting the shot. What did he say? Oh, man, if he was my teammate, I'd put hands on him. You got to go out there and do the best for the team. Put yourself to the side, Kyrie. That's what he was saying about Kyrie Irving, right? So I'm like, okay, he must be kind of pro-vax and pro-vax mandate and things of that nature, judging by what he was saying about Kyrie Irving. But it looks like he has had a change of heart. Either that or he's just being hypocritical. But I hope, just being positive here, I hope that he's changed his mind from maybe talking to Kyrie Irving himself, talking to other guys, and just seeing what's happening. You know what? Before we get to the audio, which I do have, a lot of guys are looking at what's going on and seeing the ridiculousness, all the hypocritical stuff going on, and they're waking up. Hopefully that's happened to Shaq. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to hear Shaq talking to his podcast co-host, Nichelle Turner, who was on Entertainment Tonight. The podcast also stars Anthony Spice Adams. But after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Look, I encourage everybody to be safe and take care of your family. I do. But there's still some people that don't want to take it. And you shouldn't have to be forced to take something that you don't want. So
I don't think people are being forced to take. Well, there are some. Listen, we have a mandate at CBS.
That's force.
We have a mandate at CBS. But my point.
That's force.
But where I wholeheartedly.
That's force.
No, it's not force.
It is force, because if the man don't take it, the man gonna get fired.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, shout out to Shaq for having that point of view. I think this is the point of view a lot of us have all over the world, not just the US of A, but all over the world, because we're seeing how dumb all this is, especially now that we're able to see the effects. Okay, because remember, first they said, take the one shot, we're going to beat this thing. You have regular normies that don't know a lot about viruses and biology. They thought that if they got the vax, that the virus would go away. That's what they thought. But that's not how viruses work. And now they're having to learn that in real time. So you get in the first shot, okay, that's not enough. Second shot, that's not enough. Third shot, that's not enough. They're talking about pills and everything else. And they're making all of it mandatory in certain situations. And it's to the point where if you don't get it, then you can't go out there and feed your family. You can't go from point A to point B. And in certain parts of the world, you can't even leave your house if you don't have certain things. You got to show your papers. And at a certain point, is that freedom? Now, he may be, speaking about Shaq, he may be in favor of protecting yourself and protecting others, which, by the way, this vax don't even do. All that it allegedly does is protect the person that gets it. It doesn't protect anybody else because, as the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, said, you could still catch and spread the bug, vaxxed or not vaxxed.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission.
That's what she said, not me. But getting back to it, he may want to err on the side of caution and be safe and whatnot. But at a certain point, he's like, look, I'm seeing what's going on with this thing. It's not really working the way that they said it would. So what's the purpose in denying me employment opportunities because I don't want to get it? And I like the back and forth exchange he had with Nichelle Turner. And, you know, of course, she's one of these, oh, well, you got to go out there and get it and protect people. She's still on that 2020 Anthony Fauci false rhetoric. She's still on that. And that's generally how it goes. This is why a lot of these newspapers, when they put out false information, and also mainstream media, when they put out false information that they know is kind of not all the way right, it's kind of, they got some shoddy sources that came up with the information, they'll put it out there and then they issue a retraction weeks later at a random time on air or at the the center of the paper in a really awkward spot so nobody sees it. The point I'm making is the initial story that comes out is typically the one that everybody believes and they stick to. It doesn't matter if the story is changed 2, 3, 4, 5, umpteen trillion times. It doesn't really matter because the first story is the main story. But getting back to it, she's still on that 2020 Anthony Fauci wave talking about get the vax. She probably thinks that a lockdowns work too. Although a Johns Hopkins study said that the lockdown may be reduced virus deaths by 0.2%. Okay. So she's still on that wave, and Shaq is starting to see the light and they're having a back and forth exchange. And I presume this is probably happening all over the country with people that have been paying attention and are open to different ideas, they're open to change, and those that aren't. Those just take whatever was said from the beginning and they roll with it. They roll with it. And I hope that Shaq's message is not censored because that was on this podcast. I think it's called The Big Podcast with Shaq. Hopefully Apple iTunes don't try to attack him. But you know what? I'll put it to you like this. What if Apple iTunes or some of these other big tech platforms want to try to censor Shaq? See, now we're getting into a whole different situation, okay? See, it's bad enough they want to try to stop Kyrie Irving from playing basketball in New York City. That's bad enough. A lot of NBA guys probably don't like that too much. They probably want to stay with Kyrie. I've not heard anybody really speak out against Kyrie Irving that's playing NBA basketball. Shaq said something. Maybe Charles. Oh, Kyrie Irving, you got to play. They said something a little bit, but nobody in the NBA that I've heard of has said anything negative about Kyrie and other guys that have not gotten the vax. So what if all these big tech platforms come out against Shaq or other guys in the league and other prominent figures that aren't really political? What's going to happen? I think that these people in mainstream media, big tech, politicals on the left, I think they can bully us and just tell us whatever. Just like, what's your man, Eric Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles. This guy was taking pictures with another former NBA great, Magic Johnson, and San Francisco mayor, London Breed, with no mask on. And they're asking them, hey, man, why were you in the picture with no mask on? What's going on with that? Don't you have, really strict virus protocols in Los Angeles and in state of California? He's like, yeah, but check it out. When I take these pictures, I hold my breath. I was like, really, sir? You holding your breath in the picture? Is that what you're doing? So when you hear stuff like that, just as a regular normie, regular person, not even political, just thinking, it's like, all right, that's not believable. You understand? Like, if you were to tell me that you grew some wings and flew from Los Angeles to San Francisco because you ain't wanting to fly because of the carbon emission, I'm like, all right, man, now you're just being silly. Now you're just making up stuff at this particular point in time. All right, everybody wants to be green and environmentally friendly, this, that, and the third, but you're not going to be able to grow wings from your back. The same way you're not going to be in a skybox holding your breath for a picture with a big cheese-eating grin on your face. That's not going on. Stop lying. Stop telling us things that don't make any sense, okay? Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I know that's not rain. That's pee-pee on my leg. I know you're not telling me the truth. So let's stop it. And I think Shaq might be in that particular, that category right there where he's like, you know what? I'm not trying to hear the nonsense anymore. I don't want to have people get forced to do things they don't want to do to go out there and work. Because at a certain point, are we Americans? Are we free or are we not free? Okay, some people, they feel like lockdowns and all these measures to control the bug are a good thing, although the bug is not being controlled and they can't control it because the measures don't work, the masks don't work, lockdowns don't work, the vax allegedly kind of works a little bit, but I can't tell if it does. They say it does, but I can't tell. All these things that are being forced upon us are denying us our freedom. And there was a certain war that happened back in the day, back in the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s, that ended a lot of the bondage that was forced, that was part of law. So to go backwards and kind of like reinstitute some of that is not really a good thing at all. And I think guys like Shaq and Kyrie Irving and many others are starting to understand that. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Shaq, man. Hey, stay strong because they're going to come after you. Oh, they're going to come after you. The Kyrie thing they're gonna bring up, of course. Like I brought that up, of course. But they really go after you. They're gonna be attacking that podcast. They're gonna put you in the Joe Rogan boat. They're gonna put a tinfoil hat on top of your head. Okay, all this, my black brother, Black History Month, all this, that, and the third is gonna go away because when the left, when you are on their bad side, all this, oh, we love you and you're an oppressed minority and we're gonna fight for you, that's out the window. As long as you do what they want you to do, then it's all good. But beyond that, it's like, nope, can't do nothing with you. You are officially Alex Jones. That's how it goes. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Shaq said about the virus and the vax and the mandatory nature of all this? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about his co-host, Nichelle Turner? Is she just kind of lost in the sauce, kind of still back at 2020 land? Has not really re-up. She's not upgraded her firmware to their current day conditions. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I commend Shaq for saying something like this because I know it's going to be rough for him over the next few days and weeks, dealing with the mainstream media, dealing with the questions, dealing with the censorship. And if he is to get censored, which I don't hope he does, but if he was to get censored, that'll really kind of drive it home. It's like, oh, okay, now I see what's really going on. And a lot of guys and girls and everybody around the world is going to see what's going on. A lot of us already see through the nonsense. We're already, I guess you would say, awakened from the Matrix pod. But a lot of us are not. A lot of us are still sleeping, still willfully ignorant, or just unwillfully ignorant. We don't have the information and we don't know. But if he's to get censored and other guys get censored and it becomes a thing, you're going to have more of an awakening than what's already happened, in my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.